Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We are working on this Bally Kiss pinball machine. That's right, the big one. And we have already done a video on it where we were working through the power supply. So if you didn't see that video, go find it. It's here on our channel. Wherever you are watching this, you could watch that one. It was the first in the series. Now, just to catch you up, we have been working on this for a gentleman who bought this from Repo Records in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you ever went in Repo and you saw the Kiss pinball machine, this is that very same machine. The owner sold it to a gentleman. He brought it down here for us to mess with, and we are working through it and getting it where it's reliable. It's not working at the moment. So in the first video, we had already done the playfield, cleaned it up. The guy doesn't want it to look brand new. He just wants it to be clean and work, and that's what we're doing. And so we've already done the playfield and everything. And in the first video, we worked on the rectifier board and the solenoid board, which is the power supply. So that's where all of the voltages come from. And we feel confident that we have got them doing their thing now. So we are up to the MPU board, which is the brains of the whole outfit. So that's what this video is going to be on. Now, this gentleman doesn't want the original style board in it. He wants a brand new one so that it's reliable. So we have ordered a brand new replacement board, which you can put in pretty much any of these old Ballys or any of the old Sterns. And we're going to look at the board, and you can see what that's like if you've got one of these machines and you're considering this yourself. So that's what we'll be doing today. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film this for you. I've been telling people to do that at the beginning of the video lately, because when I mention it at the end, by that time a lot of people have dropped out because I didn't have time to watch all the way through to the end, and we understand. But if you give us a thumbs up, it helps us out. That's the best thing you can do for our channel. It spreads the video around, and we get tons of views off of it, which is what we like. So let me get the brand new MPU board, and then let's look over it, and I'll show you kind of how they work and what that is and how it what the benefit of it is. Okay, so here is the board we ordered. It comes in a nice little protective anti-static bag. This is one of the Alltek boards, the Ultimate MPU board. These are awesome. There are other companies that make similar things. I've never heard of one that's really not a good design, but this one is kind of the standard. This is the one everybody orders. These are about $200. You can get them from a lot of different places. One of pretty much our favorite place to get anything is the Pinball Resource. They cater a little more to like the electromechanical and the old solid state games like this Kiss than some of the other places do. So the Pinball Resource, we love them. You can't order like with a credit card or anything though. You have to go on their website, and basically you can call them and order whatever you want, or you can email them parts if you're looking for it. And they don't even have everything that they have on their website. So if there's an old part you're looking for, if you go to the Pinball Resource, you can order it. They're not paying me to say this. I don't even know those people really. I've talked to them a few times, but that's the best parts place in my opinion. Now, if you don't like them, another place that's great is near us here actually is Marco Specialties. So MarcoSpecialties.com is probably, I would say, the world's biggest pinball place that I'm aware of that sells parts. They seem to have a bigger selection than anybody else on the planet, and if I'm lying, I'm dying. I shouldn't say that. What if I'm lying and I don't know it? I could have just jinxed myself. Oh well, we'll live through it. So this is the Ultimate MPU board. Now, what I want to tell people about this is not a fix-all. This is not going to fix every damn thing wrong with your machine. If your machine has problems, you may need this board. But you have got to test some stuff first. You have got to check some stuff out first. So that in our videos, we always try to show you systematically how to work through it, right? So if you look in the back box and you see that the battery on the board has acid leaking out of it, and you go, oh, that's it. Just like I thought, the battery leaked. I need a new board. And then you buy this board and you plug it in. You've got about a 10-15% chance of that actually fixing your problem. You probably do need the board, but there's other things you have to look at first. So it mentions that at the beginning of this book that comes, this little pamphlet that comes with it. I guess manual is the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to show you the couple things that you need to check out. Okay. And then we'll talk about our kits that we're putting this in. Thank you for purchasing, blah, 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 blah. You can email them for support. The firmware on the EEPROM has been included free of charge for the sole purpose of repairing your game, blah, 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 blah. So the EEPROMs that are included, get this. A few years back, Bally, who owns Williams as well, released all of their software for the old pinball machines free of charge to the internet so that you could use those files to fix the old pinball machines. Can you believe that? Wow. So they do charge you for, like, they have licensed parts and stuff like that, but you can download the ROMs for free. They were provided for free. They are all over the internet so that people could fix their old machines. So Bally and Williams really did us a solid at some point, right? Before you plug in the Ultimate MPU board, so you got to set a couple things. So they're going to tell us to set some things. I guess we could go ahead and do that. Let's do it now. Review table 1 on the last page of this manual to determine if the clock speed jumpers need to be changed for the games being selected. The jumpers only need to be moved for the later model Stern games. We're putting this in a Bally Kiss. That's not a later model Stern game. You can also refer to the table below or to the legend located next to the clock speed jumpers on the Ultimate MPU board. All Stern games should be to the left. All Bally games to the right. So they're talking about these two little jumpers here. So ours are to the right. That's where they need to be for Bally, and it even tells you right there. So if it's an MPU 200 game, which was like Flight 2000, some of that kind of stuff, you need to move those. Okay, so our jumpers are set right. If you have the old MPU board that you feel has the correct dip switch settings for game features, go ahead and make the Ultimate MPU board game feature dip switches 1 through 32 the same as your old board. If you choose free play mode, you will need to turn off the credit display game feature switch, which is typically switch 20 or 27 depending on the game. Additionally, if you are setting the board for a Stern machine, you must set the game feature switches. If the game featured dip switches are all on or off, the machine will start in self-test mode. Also, there isn't a free play for Stern games. So, on the board there are two banks of dip switches. So there's this one, which is used to set which game you're putting it in. So on the original Bally MPUs, that wasn't on there. A lot of this stuff's different than the original ones, but that switch wasn't there. But on the original Bally MPUs, all these switches were there. And these are different depending on which game it's in. So they're game-dependent game setting switches. They are all off right now. If the game feature dip switches are all on or all off, the machine will start in self-test mode. So you can't leave them just all off. You have to set these. And so if you look in the manual, it tells you what each switch does. Also, a lot of times it's in the back box around the back box inside. There'll be all kinds of little pieces of paper that tell you what each thing should be set at. We'll look in the manual to get it right. But this other thing that they mentioned about free play, I have messed this up before because I often put them on free play. So there's a switch you can hit to put it on free play, right? But look what this says. This is very important. If you haven't read this, you will have problems. If you choose free play mode, you will need to turn off the credit display game feature switch, which is typically switch 20 or 27 depending on the game. Right? So what I thought that meant was you can turn on or off the credit display. So it says how many credits you have on the game. I usually have that turned on just because it's kind of neat. So it'll say 20, 23, 3, 4, however many quarters or credits are left on the game. So I thought that what that meant was to put it on free play, you then want to turn that display off because it'll have the wrong number. That's not what it means. It will not go on free play if that switch is on. So you have to turn that switch off or it'll never go on free play. I chased my tail on that one day for like 2 hours trying to figure that out because I had missed that part of the thing. You've got to turn the credit display off if you want to put it on free play. So we got to go through and set all those. We'll do that here in a minute. Now here we go. Connecting up. Important. 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 Don't apply power until you have checked the 5 volt and 5 volt AC voltage. Before plugging in the Ultimate MPU board, get a flashlight to get a good look at the connectors that are hanging in the top left corner of the head of the machine. I'm going to read that again. Get a flashlight and get a good look at the connectors that are hanging in the top left corner of the head of the machine. If those connectors are screwed up, you have to work on those connectors. You have to replace the pins or this board will never work. It could be, if your old board looks decent, it could just be that connector is the only thing wrong with it. They get damaged whenever the board gets corrosion, and it starts corroding the actual pins inside the female pins inside of the plug that goes on. And then a lot of times somebody will swap in a different board, but if you don't mess with those pins, one, they can continue to even get worse, or two, if they don't let the voltage through, I don't think it'll actually, I guess we'll see what they say about it, but it usually won't damage the board, but it just won't work. If you have a Stern machine, you may have 2 extra connectors for the soundboard. Visually inspect the cables for broken wires or bad pins. If you see any damage, you will need to repair this before continuing. Inspect the pins for corrosion. If you find any corrosion, further action may be necessary. Corroded pins could prevent your new board from working properly. So you got to check that first. Check it out. Check it out. Now make sure the 5 volt DC supply is functioning correctly. You only need to do this if you're using an old solenoid driver board. If you installed a new Alltek Systems Ultimate Solenoid Driver Board, then move to the next page. Otherwise, continue the following steps. Also, make sure the Ultimate MPU board is not installed. Turn the game on. Using a digital voltmeter set to DC, measure the 5 volts between test point 1 and the ground test point located on the solenoid board in the top right corner in the head. The voltage should be between 4.9 and 5.25. So we need to do that. Place the voltmeter setting to AC, measure the 5 volts, making sure you don't have more than 150 megavolts AC. Not megavolts, 150 MV AC. If you have more than the recommended voltages, see the troubleshooting section before installing the new board in the machine. One special note, if you're installing this in a baby Pac-Man or a Granny and the Gators, use test point 2 to check the 5 volts. After you make the measurement, turn off the game. If you don't have a voltmeter, see if you can borrow one from a friend or purchase one from Radio Shack for about $20. Might not be able to do that anymore, folks. But there are other places. Once the connectors and power supply have been checked, mount the new board into the game. Install the board by placing it on top of the plastic spaces, blah, 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 blah. So the old one was that big. The new one is this big. Plug in the connectors. Blah, 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 blah. Hardy, har, har, har. It's now time to set the MPU board up for a specific game. If it's a Bally machine, decide if you want to set the dip switch for free play or normal game mode. Now, configure the game, select dip switch to the game that you own. If switching from one game to another, meaning you already had the Ultimate MPU board in another machine, run a memory clear function. Refer to page 11 for performing a memory clear function. I have used one of these at one point in a Stern Meteor. I had a problem, which I believe was an MPU 200 game, by the way. But I had a problem where so I set it up to be a Meteor, and I put it in, and it just, everything was screwed up. It just wasn't working right. And so I did the memory clear thing, and then, which basically makes it where it forgets what it's set up for, what game. And then I set it back up for a Meteor, and it worked fine. So that may be a thing. So if switching from one game to another, meaning you already had the Ultimate MPU board in another machine, run a memory clear function. So I think that the one that I had, they may have tested it or something before they mailed it out, and so maybe it was set up as a KISS, and then I set it up as a Meteor, and it didn't work right, and it wanted to be cleared first. Okay, so we're going to set it up. All of this is telling you how to do bookkeeping and all of that stuff. Bookkeeping, high score feature adjustments, high score to date, feature options 16 through 22, memory clear function, troubleshooting section, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. So we've made it to the end. How to use this chart. Up is an on or a 1. Down is an off or an 0. So here are all the games that it can be. Do you see any of your favorites in there? How cool is that? Look at Speakeasy 4-player and Speakeasy 2-player. I've never even heard of Speakeasy. What? Look at this big bat baseball. That sounds awesome. That's pretty crazy, people. And then it can be all of these Stern machines. Stern's first solid state game, by the way, was called Pinball. Right? I want to get more of these Sterns. Look at all that. So I've had for the Sterns I kind of have a soft spot for. So I've had a Stingray. I've had a Nugent. I've had a Hot Hand. I've had a Flight 2000. I've had a Meteor. And that's it. A lot of these games here that are the kind of the weird sounding ones are really cool. Stern did some really cool stuff. Okay, so we're going to make it a KISS, but over here it says free play settings, Bally only. To place any of the Bally games in free play mode, just place the leftmost switch in the on position. So Future Spa normally would be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, but to make a free play, you just add the first one as being a 1. So on KISS, we want 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. All right, so we got 1 on, 2, 3, 4 off, 5, 6, and 7 on, 8 off. 1 on, 2, 3, 4 off, 5, 6, 7 on, 8 off. So that should make it a KISS. But remember, we've got all these off. So that means it's going to boot up and self-test. Then turn off your credit display feature, which is either switch 20 or 27 on of the game feature dip switches. Blah, 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 blah. So we're going to look at the manual and see which ones. There's an enhanced diagnostic test, a memory clear function, and then other game software. It can go in a sexy girl, a big ball bowling, a black sheep squadron, a Genesis puck bowler, a black beauty shuffle, or a mystic star. Pretty cool. All right, let's go look at the manual and see what we need to set all these at, and then we're about ready to put it in the game. Okay, folks, we are reading through the manual online. You can see here it says, light a lane feature. It's possible to light the entire word KISS at one time. This is accomplished either by knocking down all the other drop targets or by going through the light a lane rollover when lit. There are 2 switches which can influence the frequency at which the light a lane rollover is made. So what we like to do on ours, we're selling them to people for their home. So earning money on them isn't really a concern. I understand though why back in the day that would have been different, but we usually set ours as easy as possible. Unless it makes something, by making something easier, you take out like a whole feature of the game. We don't like doing that. But so switch 23, the light a line frequency switch. If it's on, the light line rollover is lit till KISS special is lit. If it's off, the light line rollover alternates till the KISS special is lit. So I'm going to put that one on because it's a little easier. Switch 30, light align, liberal, conservative switch. The light align light is lit at the start of a new ball, and off, it's random. So we want 23 and 30 both to be on. So on our little board here, they're all numbered 1 through 8, but if you look over here on the right, there's a little legend that shows you which one is which. So that's 23. 23 and 30. Both of those are on, so now that will get rid of our we're no longer in self-test mode because some of the switches are not off. Okay. The ABCD feature. The ABCD feature consists of 4 targets on the right-hand side of the playfield. Blah, 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 blah. So switch 31. If it's on, A, B, C, D are held in memory. If it's off, there's no memory. So you want it to hold in memory. Makes it a little easier. Gets you start the ball with it however you left the ball. So 31 is now on. The KISS special feature. A special is awarded for each time KISS is made when this KISS special light is lit. Switch number 24. On, the KISS special lit with colossal bonus. Off, the KISS special is lit on the 3rd card. It's either when the colossal bonus light is lit or when the card is completed for the 3rd time, depending on switch 24. I guess we'll just turn it on. 24 on. I don't completely understand that one because I haven't played it enough. Whoa. Don't fall, people. Don't fall. Like that one time. Remember that? That was horrible. Gate feature. Switch 29, gate, liberal or conservative. On, it's lit at the start of a new ball. Off, it's random. So 29, we want on. Make it a little easier. Bam. Special, replay, extra ball, novelty modes. Okay, so here's how I do this a little different. So I'm putting it in somebody's house. What I kind of like, and this, you know, the customer may want to change it, and he'll get the manual with it, of course, and all that. But I kind of like to put it where you get a free ball, because what fun is it to win a free game when it's set on free play? That's my thinking, at least. So if 14 is on and 15 is on, you get a lot of replays. If 14 is on and 15, if 14 is off, 15 is on, you get a lot of extra balls. So we're going to do that. 14 off, 15 on. All right. Moving on. Game adjustments. So we're on free play, but we're still going to set it up as if it was 1 coin for 1 credit. So you want credits per coin are selectable by means of 25 to 28 for coin shoot 2. We want 1-1, so we want 25 on. All right. That's usually the middle one, though, I think, which would be like where you would put the Susan B. Anthony coin. So you might want 4 or 5 credits for each coin. Here's more credits per coin. I want 1 per coin, so I want 2 and 10 to be on. So switches 1 through 5 do switch coin switch 1. Switch 9 through 13 do coin switch 2. So I want it on 1 play, 1 game, 1 credit per coin. So I want to turn 2 on and 10 on. Okay. Okie dokie. Maximum credits. I always put it on 40, which is 17, 18, and 19 on, just in case they take it off free play. And the reason that you want it to be able to hold more is because it's less of a chance of somebody losing their coin. Maybe somebody might come in and try to put, you know, $10 worth of credits on it. Balls per game, I usually put it on 3. Switch 16 off. Match feature, we'll turn it on. 21 on. Okay. Now, here's the one that you got to turn off to make it free play. Credit display. Credits displayed, yes or no. I used to just leave it on yes because I thought, oh, it's kind of cool. It's still set to credits even though it's on free play. If you do that, it won't be on free play. That's how the board works. It checks this. So we need 20 off, which it is already because remember, all of them are off. High score feature. If you get the high score, I want it to give you an extra ball instead of a replay. So we want 15 on. Okay, we already had that somehow. Boop, boop, boop. High score to date feature. So if you get the highest score, it can either give you no award, one credit, 2 credits, or 3 credits. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it 3 credits, even though, like I was saying, it's not that big of a deal to get credits whenever the game's on free play. But it's either that or you don't get anything. So we'll turn it on. So 6 and 7 need to be on. State and local laws may regulate the use of the above features. Can you believe that? Sound option. All right, here's where you want to make it as KISS as possible. So you want it to play tunes instead of just noises. So the most aggressive of that is if you turn 8 and 32 on, it plays a tune on almost everything. Plays a noise if you score 10 points, and it plays a noise if it tilts. But we want 8 and 32 on. And that way it'll play. It actually plays a couple KISS songs. Game feature options. 22 on. Light align frequency. 23 on. We already did that one. KISS special adjustment, special lights with colossal. 24. We're making it loose as a goose, people. We want it where you get the most bang for your game. 29 on. This whole part is just kind of like a little checklist to make sure that you know which one is the easier and the harder one. And then we can set up stuff inside the game too. We can set up the high score to date and all that stuff. Okay, so we're ready to put it in the game. We've got everything set up. So we're going to plug it in, and then we're going to first test that 5 volts like it was telling us to do. And then if the 5 volts is all right, we'll plug in the voltage to the board, and we'll turn this sucker on and see if she'll boot up. All right, so checking the 5 volts, I've got 5.05. You know what that means? It means we're ready to go. And if you're curious about the original board, we messed with it on the, or we looked at it on the other video, and you get a quick flicker and one blink, one flash out of it. It's got some issues, little just minor corrosion down here on the bottom, and the battery is still on it. That was put on there in 1994. So this new board, we will not have to worry about that. I'm going to cut that battery off of that one before we put it away in storage. Might be able to use it for parts or something. Rebuild it at some point and put in another machine or something. But we're going to put the brand new one in. We're going to look at that connector over there that it was talking about just to make sure everything looks cool. And then since we're at 5 volts, 5.05, we're within what they recommend. I think we're going to be good. So let me swap this old board and put the new one in, and then we'll look at the connector. Okay, so this is the most important connector. It's the one that goes on the bottom for the power. And the pins look pretty nice and fresh and clean. They are the original pins though, so you could replace them, but I don't see any corrosion on any of them, so I'm not going to replace them. If we have problems, we will, but you can, depending on how bad it is, you can have corrosion on everything in the game. See, now if you look at this one, see how they're all darker? So what's going on here, I believe, may be wrong, but it looks like what's going on here is these are the original pins, and these are actually not. These have been replaced by somebody. See how they're shinier? So probably what happened was that board had leaked, and somebody swapped it. And so they put this other one in, probably in 2004, I mean in 1994, right? And since then, it's had some issues. Let's see if... See, you don't actually see any corrosion on the new battery, so probably there was a little bit of corrosion left on this board that they didn't repair, and it has come back to rear its ugly head. We're getting one flash, so it's one of these two chips here is causing a problem. But brand new board will take care of that. So the connectors all look fine. I'm going to plug it all in, and then we'll turn it on and see if we get our 7 flashes. Okay, folks, so I plugged back everything back in on the solenoid board, plugged in everything on the MPU, the new MPU. There's an LED over here somewhere that you'll see. It should do like a quick flash. That's the reset. There may not even be one on these new boards. And then there will be 7 flashes as it does the same diagnostic test, startup test that Bally's do. So here we go, and if it comes up, we're going to see this machine come back alive for the first time, and who knows how long it's been broke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very cool. So we got a lot of lights that look like they're probably burnt out. But we got a lot of them that are still working. We haven't replaced any of the bulbs yet. The displays, 3 of them appear to be doing something. Now, the KISS thing is all screwed up. I see 5 bulbs stuck on, and then some of the other ones are they're lighting like they should, and then a few of them are burnt out. So that board's going to need some work. But she's back up and living, people. You saw it. You saw it happen. You want to see it again? Let's do it one more time. I don't know what song this is that it plays at the beginning. In my head does, though. In my head, what song is this that it plays? I don't know that one. But when you start a game, we all know that one. So let's try it. What do you think? See if it'll do anything. All right. Okay, so I put it in test mode. You know, we haven't messed with any of the wiring or looked at any of the switches or anything. We've got stuff like the drop targets are stuck down, stuff like that. So here's our bulbs. Just a couple of them burn out, really. And then this will be displays. So 3 of the displays are working. 2 of them are out. But that's okay. I think we can fix that. I shouldn't have went through the solenoid test. We'll go back into it. So I'm stepping through all of the different things. It's resetting now. It's going to play the music again. That was a little better. It reset the drop targets and stuff that time. Let's see if we can get it to start a game. Alright folks, so we've got it up and running, but it won't start a game. So it's still got some switch issues, I think, and some bulb issues and all of that. So we're going to have to work through it a bunch more. We've got some display issues. Got a few of them working. The KISS board, that's not working right. So I mean, it needs a lot of work still, but we do have it up at least running code and making the light bulbs dance and all of that good stuff. So I think this is a good spot to stop for this video. Whoa! It just freaked out. I think the lamp board is tripping on us. Did you see that? That was crazy. So join us next time. We'll keep working through it and see what we can figure out. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. Down below there is a link to Amazon. If you go to Amazon to buy any of your KISS memorabilia or KISS albums, it gives us a little royalty if you click our link before you do that. So we appreciate that. Everybody who's been doing it. A lot of people have been buying stuff on there, and like I said, it pays us a little tip. So we appreciate everybody that's been doing that. Also, check out our brother's channel, my brother Donnie. We've been over there working on my truck lately, so if you haven't seen that, it's been pretty fun. I've got an old arcade, an old 86 GMC, 1986 GMC Sierra pickup truck with a lift gate on it that I use to move arcade games, and it's been screwed up for years. So we've been having a couple guys try to rebuild the engine, which hasn't worked yet. So now me and Donnie are trying to figure it out. So we're trying to get the thing up and running right. So go check it out over there if you haven't already. It's my brother Donnie. You can just Google it if you can't find the link. He's worldwide now, people. He's worldwide. But make sure to give us a thumbs up. Tell us what you think so far down below. And on the next video, we'll work through this a little more and see if we can get things working a little bit better. But we have brought it back from the dead, at least. Now we just got to make it less of a Frankenstein and more of a Gene Simmons, right? Make it more smooth. Make it more where it does what it's supposed to do. So we'll see you on the next video. Hope you enjoyed it.